What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Steven, or Heartbreaker, and today's video is going to be providing an overview of how I think people should be and could be improving at Counter-Strike. This is not going to be super in-depth. I'm not going to load the game up and show you different positions, because every time I've tried to do that to make this video, there's just so many things to cover that each one I feel like deserves its own video almost, or at least you can bundle a couple of them together. So in this, it's going to be a pretty general overview of the things that I want you guys to think about when you're playing Counter-Strike. So the first one, going to be pretty simple. It's something you can apply to anything that you're trying to improve at ever, and that is do it with a purpose. We're going to say play with a purpose. That means if you're trying to improve, if your goal isn't just to load at the game and have fun, but it's to get better, then think about what you're doing, right? Like, go into it and recognize the things that you need to work on. We're going to come back to this because the next thing kind of goes with that, and that is to recognize your weaknesses. And of course, you can make it your strengths as well, but recognizing your weaknesses is very, very important. For me, for instance, my movement has never been that great, but I've never put in the time to improve it, right? I don't do KZ, I don't do surf and things like that, but you could. So if you know your movement is bad, focus on your movement. If you know your aim is bad, your mechanics on some things are rusty, there are so many maps in the workshop. Next point, utilize the workshop. The community has built so many things within Counter-Strike that you can load up all these different maps for your recoil control, again, for movement, tapping. I mean, there's just reflexes. There's so many things that the community has built themselves to help people improve. There are not that many games that have access to so many things that are literally built to help you work on your mechanics. Next thing, play to win. It's that simple. If you're going in and you're taking fights that don't favor you, or you're putting yourself in positions that aren't leading to the long term of winning the game, then you're making mistakes. Then you're giving the other team an opportunity to beat you. And if you're not focusing on winning, then like you're not actually working to improve, right? Because if you're trying to improve, that means you're probably trying to win. Now, they don't necessarily go 100%, right? If you're doing a strategy with your team, you're okay losing that round because it's helping you find the timings on maybe your smoke, so your flashbangs and things like that. And again, don't want to get too in depth on that, but you're playing to win. It should be a point that you're focused on what is the right play. Okay, you could still lose doing the right play, but what is the right play? Try to think about that. Use the info. This goes into, I'm gonna combine that with reading the map. So something that I do a lot when I am playing is constantly making sure I know where my teammates are, listening to what communication comes from them. Like, I pushed underpass, B is clear, or I'm in Palace, because when all the thinking Mirage, or nobody banana, I'm pushed bottom banana, I've given up arch control. Those are all things that you have to know, because if you know what areas of the map the enemy can be in, what the timings are, okay, if they got through spawn, this is when they're going to be there. I need to reposition myself, given the information that I have. Very, very, very important. Your teammate gets smoked out window on Mirage. At first you were at triple box, well now you need to move, right? Unless your teammate rotates into connector, you're not open to that position. If the smoke fades in Palace, if your teammate calls that they don't have any utility to help you, that's information that you need and you need to utilize. You need to remember and put it into the game. So the next thing is going to be positioning, which kind of ties into the last point. You have to work on your positioning. Knowing when to be where is so important. People think it's all reflexes, it's all reaction time. You can beat that by being in the right position, cutting off different angles. This is, of course, super important if somebody's trying to take the, you're being executed on the site, or you're in a clutch situation. Take 1v1s. Think about where the players are or where they could be, and position yourself to get one-on-one engagements. Don't put yourself in a spot where you're going to get shot from over here, you're going to get shot from over there. Try to position yourself accordingly. If they're coming out ramp, you want to play maybe a little bit of an off angle. They're rushing up mid. You want to think about where you could be to give you the best chance of winning that engagement, or being able to get the engagement and then fall away to slow them down. It's going to be a little bit of a sidetrack point, but something that happens a lot on B site Inferno, right? Your teammate and you take the engagement and they're pushing in. Maybe you get a kill or two, your teammate falls, you're playing around coffins or something like that, or CT. and you force the fight, even though it's like a 3v3 or 3v2 or something like that, instead of just falling into construction and maintaining that control. Again, positioning, recognizing the map, awareness, reading the map. If you maintain construction control back towards coffins, a garden, things like that, then your teammates, as they rotate, know that that is clear. You can pincer the site in a better way. If you have somebody coming up banana, you're in there, teammates coming through CT. There's just a lot of things where people try to take the fight. Again, play to win. Don't play for that kill, play to win. Fall back, maintain that map control. Make sure that the T's are all forced into the same area so that you do not have to worry about spending too much time clearing all of the angles. Very, very important. One of the next points is going to be adjusting accordingly. And a lot of this kind of overlaps, but it's very important. Recognizing the tendencies of the enemy team. Now, for instance, me playing in Mythic Ruby Face level 10 games, some of the players oftentimes that you're going against are the same, right? It's not a massive hub. It doesn't have everybody in it. It's just a lot of these same players that you get at least a couple times a day if you're going to play that many games. And so I'm going to use one in particular. There's a guy named Jazz. I think he changed his name to Twibble or something like that. He is almost as one-dimensional as it gets. All of his success comes from re-peeking, getting aggressive, holding W, just coming at you. He takes those fights because he's skilled. He has the mechanics, but soon as you're able to counter that by just waiting, positioning, keeping your gun out, he steps out, and your teammate at best, he gets 1-for-1 trade, you shut him down. Yesterday was a perfect example. We're playing Inferno. He kept trying to get aggressive on banana, and every round I kept saying, guys, he is going to peek. He doesn't know what to do if he's not peeking. He doesn't know what to do if he's not taking the engagement early, if he's not trying to force the engagement. And we shut him down. He did very poor trying to hold Dana early on because every time we'd swing out, there'd be 2 or 3 of us just sitting there waiting. Kill him. When we'd go up, we'd pop flash, we'd swing out because we knew he would be close. If you know a player likes to hide behind the smoke, a ramp, be ready when it starts to fade. He might come out. If you know that they like to lurk palace, linger back a little bit. Maybe draw them out with a fake run to the left, pull them out. Adjust off of what your opponents like to do. Do they always take mid control? Okay, change it up. Suggest to your teammates that maybe you guys hold, different positions on the sides of mid rather than in mid if you're playing Mirage. Go cat, go connector, double up in connector. There's just a lot of things you can do. Adjust. If you just try to play your game and your game isn't working, it's okay to try something different. That doesn't mean immediately give up on things. Maybe it was a bad round. They hit that one shot that they normally hit. You missed through a grenade, but adjust accordingly to what your enemy is doing, how your team is playing. Okay, they're hitting B a lot. Maybe throw a second player over there, at least move a player closer in that direction. Maybe double up the one, 2 players towards con window, so the window guy can rotate off, con guy rotates into window, something like that, or you can continue to hold it from con. There's a lot of things you can do. I know I'm using Inferno and Mirage a lot as examples, but they're the maps that a lot of people know. So I think that's basically the gist of it. Again, I didn't want to go into too much detail. Those are all the main things that you have to focus on when you're wanting to improve. Again, play with a purpose. Think about what you are doing when you're doing it. Reflect on it. Review your plays. Now we're getting into some more things. Review your plays. After you win an engagement, lose the engagement, win a round, lose a round, think about what could I have done differently or better in that situation? And then do it the next time. Here's the thing. Just because something works doesn't mean it's right. And just because something doesn't work doesn't mean it's wrong. You're always going to run into things on both sides of that. But if you're trying to do the right thing most of the time, I think you'll find more success than not. Be confident, but think about what you're doing. Think about if it's the right play at the right time, and make sure that you're adjusting accordingly. You're using the right position to give you the best advantage, even if the other person has a faster reaction time. If you're in the right position, you have a really good chance of winning that. And of course, make sure you use all the information at your disposal. Make sure you pay attention to the map and listen to the communication of your teammates. Very important. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Hopefully it helps you. I want to get some more in-depth videos breaking down very specific things, but that's going to require a whole lot more work. So here's an overview. And if you liked it, make sure you like and subscribe. You can also check me out on Mixer, where I'm happy to discuss all these things. You can just watch me play and maybe learn a thing or two at mixer.com/HeartbreakerTV. Until next time, guys.